welcome to another episode. Gas Network presents Sports for the Culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
C-Malo,
Gruff Lion.
T-Buggy, man.
To the greatest sports show on the planet, La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say. We back. Your favorite sports show, Gas presents Sports for the Culture. I'm your host tonight at Bryce XXV Double I. As always, I'm joined by the dream team. Let's start with my guy, the saddest of them all, bottom right.
Man, the season just started and I'm wearing bags already, man. This Daniel Jones, fuck you. Fuck your mother, fuck your wife. Hey, fuck your favorite nieces and nephews that you love the most. And I hope you catch a flat on your way to your house and you need the bathroom real bad. I wish there was a segment not too long ago, the worst inconvenience. I wish you had that within 5 minutes apart from each other. Fuck you for giving me the worst season opener of my entire existence. But fellas, let me not digress. Hello. How you guys been?
Hey, doing good, G. Week 1, bag on your head is crazy, bro. God damn, you got a long road ahead, my boy. It's all right.
So, I gotta find me a therapist.
We'll be here every step of the way. Bottom left, introduce yourself.
T Boogie, man. Wash your hands, wash your ass. You know what it is. Great week of football for me. Actually, I'm lying. Fantasy blew up, but I did all right against the spread, and my survivor pick. I'm still surviving, so I'm having fun, man. I'm just glad football back.
Yo, that guy's Survivor League escalated quickly. I mean, damn, half the league gone first week. That was crazy. I was watching the what game was that? I took the Bills over the Cardinals, and I'm watching that shit with like a few minutes left. Like, damn, I might be out because that shit was close, man. Hey, I like the Survivor League. Too late to get in it this year, but you want to be in the Gas Survivor League next year. Make sure you holler at us before the season starts.
Wait, from the sounds of it, it's by week 4 you're gonna have to start at the beginning.
No, basically, no. It might just be a champion by week 4.
Wait, what? That's what I'm saying. Why not start it again if there's a champion by week 4?
We'll explain it in a second. Top right, introduce yourself, sir.
Yes, sir. You know who it is. Your boy Young Rome 22 on all socials as always, man. Trust me, nobody is happier that the NFL is back than me. I'm trying to watch more football this year than I've watched ever. I'm trying to watch as many games as I can, college and NFL included. So I'm very tapped in, very plugged in this season, and this was a great week of football. I'm very excited for the rest of the season and for what we got in store tonight. So let's get it.
Hell yeah, man. I'm with you on that, bro. I don't know what it was about the anticipation of this season, but it was up there like as high as it's been like ever for me too. So I'm with you there, man. And the season
might have something to do with our squad drafting a certain quarterback, but
that could be it. But I was hyped just to see like the week 1 game. Like, bro, I've never gone out of my way to like do my setup, you know what I'm saying, in the crib with my TV and my extra screens and all that shit, and the food and the beer selection I wanted. But I like went out of my way this year for the 1:00 games, like to make my whole setup nice. It was crazy. I don't know, bro. I'm just getting old. But let's get into some of these games though, bro, because there were some shockers. For sure. Let's see, where do we start when it comes to shockers? First, let's start with the most recent game, right? I mean, what did y'all think about the game last night? How do y'all feel like Aaron Rodgers is reacclimating himself? You know what I'm saying? And what do we think about the 49ers performance, especially considering that they didn't have Christian McCaffrey, who may be lost for an extended period of time? T, we'll start with you since you're a 49ers fan, bro.
I'm glad to start with me, but like I said, I hit some parlays, man. I hit some parlays on that game. I kind of had an idea how it was going to go. 49ers typically play well on Monday night. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers typically struggles with the 49ers in the primetime playoff style situation. So I knew how that would go. What I didn't think, though, I knew we'd beat the spread. I didn't know we'd throw 30 on them. And that's supposedly the league's best defense. So to drop 30 week one, no McCaffrey, even with a few hiccups, Ayuk dropped a touchdown. I thought what we saw was the 49ers here to be the same team they were last year, man. They're going to be a tough out for anybody they play, and they might just still be the class of the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that after that game last night, they was firing all cylinders without, arguably the best player on the team.
Greenlaw, no McCaffrey, that's a tough team, man. Fred Warner looked like a Hall of Famer. Trent Williams looks like a Hall of Famer. George Kittle still looks like he's the best dual tight end. I guess that's the best way to put it now, huh? Blocking and receiving. It should be a good season. I mean, the NFL could go either way. Script makers are script makers, but so far so good. But real quick, the Aaron Rodgers, I couldn't tell. Don't know if he's back and better. Don't know if he's regressed. It was just really hard to tell. It was a rough night for their offense altogether.
Yeah, I feel like you saw some flashes, but nothing consistent enough to really, sell me either way. I don't want to stick on this 49ers topic too long, but I did see a little bit of back and forth between my guy Rome and my guy Boogie on Twitter regarding some 49ers content. So I got to ask you, Rome, were you impressed by Brock Purdy, or you still think he's just a beneficiary of this great system and team and organization?
Yeah, so we can get into it. So really, what T did was a masterful job, similar to one of the debaters on stage earlier tonight between Harris and Trump. He did a masterful job of taking what I said and just misconstruing it, taking it way out of hand. First of all, what I said was Brock Purdy benefits off a strong run game, which proof is in the pudding. Mason ran for over 140 and makes the throws that he needs to make. Now, for some reason, T, being the 49ers fan that he is, took that as a shot at his boy. What makes the throws that he needs to make? He's dropping dimes. He's doing this. He's only missed 2 passes all night. The man missed like 10 passes in total, 19 for 29. That's a little bit more than 2. But I guess if the passes, if you're considering the passes that he doesn't complete as dimes and dots, then I guess Brock Purdy is the greatest of all time. We can give him a gold jacket right now, according to some 49ers fans. But in all honesty, he played a good game, a solid game. But the real player, if you were going to give out a game ball, if you were going to say the player of that game, the best player for the 49ers last night, you would not say Brock Purdy. You would say Mason. And that's just off watching football. But T, who claims to not follow national media narratives, has decided to jump on the Dan Orlovsky and the Kurt Warners and then all the other people on your TV screen that want to tell you that Brock Purdy is elite and that was an elite performance, even though he didn't even score and only went for 230. It was a solid game. He managed it well. He's a good quarterback.
A lot of your favorite 230 this weekend. My bad. A lot of your favorites didn't throw for 230 this weekend. If I said, hey, is UPS good? And somebody said, I mean, they deliver the boxes that they're supposed to deliver. That's not ringing endorsement. It's not. And also, for everyone that says and this is my last point, that says Purdy's in this great situation and Kyle Shanahan has a quarterback-friendly system, I disagree. It's a running back-friendly system. Ask Raheem Mostert. Ask Matt Breida. Ask Elijah Mitchell. We were running the ball fine. Well before CMC, we were a top 5 running team. We're still a top 5 running team. Obviously, Mason isn't CMC, but we've had a running game in every quarterback we've had. Ask Nick Mullins, ask CJ Beathard, ask some of these other guys that couldn't get it done with this same running game and the same defense and the same coach. So, also, I didn't chase a national media narrative. I said it first. They chased me.
Well, before we go on to the next game, it's funny you say Dan Orlovsky. You are Dan Orlovsky. You don't sit here telling Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback The man's a bum. Man, Brock Purdy, he had a good game, man. And Brock Purdy he makes the 49ers that much better. Because look, they didn't have to stack the box because you saw the Jets defense, they were still scared that Brock Purdy was going to sling that shit. And if anything, a couple of those calls, I want to blame Brandon Ayuk. Because if he didn't miss training camp, he could have caught that touchdown. There's a lot of passes that Brock Purdy threw, and they were pretty. And a couple of those receivers were like training camp. You need training camp. So I'll say here, besides T, Brock Purdy's a top 5 quarterback in this league.
I'm not ready to go that far, but okay. We'll revisit that topic midway through the season. Still see if everyone still feels that way. Let's move on to another game that was a bit of a shocker. I felt like that game was a little bit of a shocker because all I heard like the last couple of years was how Aaron Rodgers was going to come back and Gary Wilson was going to be this crazy threat. And, then they got Mike Williams. Everybody in New York was hyped for that. You know what I'm saying? And, I didn't see much to, make me think otherwise. And I've told y'all a similar story about one Kirk Cousins last week. I tried to tell y'all. Y'all was loving the Kirk Cousins. Y'all was all on the Kirk Cousins bandwagon, everybody on the show. I told y'all, man, Kirk Cousins is not a plug-and-play quarterback. That shit going to take time. Might take a long time. And guess what? It got kind of ugly, man. It got kind of ugly, bro, if you ask me. What did y'all think about Kirk Cousins and his debut with the Falcons, and are y'all still as high on him? Rome, I got to start with you on this one.
I'm definitely still high on Kirk. I'll give you some credit for your take last week. It probably will take a little bit of time. I don't think it takes nearly as much time as you're alluding to. I wouldn't say it got ugly. I mean, it was an 18-10 win for the Steelers. It wasn't like
with all field goals.
I mean, it was. Well, I mean, I would consider what happened to our Commanders a little bit uglier than what happened to Atlanta. But I think everything that Atlanta showed me in that game is something that they will overcome as the season goes on. Do you really think that team is going to average 10 points moving forward? No, like they're going to score 2-3 touchdowns a game once the season gets going. And they get in the rhythm of things. You got to remember, Kirk's coming off the injury. He didn't play in preseason. So, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with the slow start. Like there's not going to be a snap your fingers and Kirk Cousins is throwing 5 touchdowns. But I think they will get there. And I'm not moving off my Atlanta take at all. I think they definitely still got the South.
Well, I think your Atlanta take was also 11 games, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and we got, 15, 16 more to go?
All right. So they own 1. We'll see if they can get there. 11 game. That was not an 11-game team I saw on Sunday. But things can change. G, you.
It was an 11-win defense. Didn't give up no touchdowns.
Bro, you ain't seen none of that game, did you? Because the Steelers. First of all, it was Justin Fields who doesn't really score no touchdowns. All right. I mean, we know the story behind that. But 18 points in field goals, your defense didn't play all that great. G, what did you think about Kirk Cousins' opening game, man? You impressed? You buying or you selling?
Man, I think we should have been talking how long before Penix is going to get on the field, before we were even talking about Justin Fields getting on that field, because Kirk Cousins, he looked very subpar. I know the Steelers' defense is a great defense. I think people tend to sleep on him because of the offense. But, damn, man, Kirk Cousins looks bad. What happened to Drake? What happened to what's the tight end that people have been talking about coming out? This is supposed to be his coming out year.
He caught the touchdown.
Kyle Pitts.
He got the touchdown.
Hey,
But besides that, what else did he do?
Man, bro, y'all killing me with this. He got the touchdown. You saw that touchdown, right?
Then you have
he was wide open.
Man, stop playing over here, bro.
Hey, I mean, what do you, bro? Like, you asking what he did? He asked what he did. He got the touchdown. Only touchdown in the game.
It's just the
All
way
he
y'all be
did was
saying
catch
it, like,
catch
y'all
3
be-
balls
he got the
balls
touchdown.
with
Man,
26 yards. He didn't do nothing crazy.
He didn't do shit, bro. He got the touchdown. That's all the fuck he did. I saw that game, man.
Are we talking about fantasy or are we talking about the game? And if we're talking about the game, he's still looking like we're still waiting for that coming out party. Like, we all thought about this offense, and we're all raving about the Falcons, man. They got Bijan Robinson. We knew he was going to be a stud. He was elite in a couple fantasy leagues. He was a top 3 pick.
And I said something about that too. I
Exactly.
And then they got a shot.
Look at Drake London. Drake London is still he looks like a second option in the receiving corps. And man, Kyle Pitts, man, listen, Kirk Cousins had a bad game, and it's only going to get worse.
So
That's crazy.
I didn't think Kirk Cousins played bad. I think if you judge him to Kirk Cousins standard, yeah, sure, he didn't play up to his normal standard. But 2 things I noticed. Well, one thing I noticed, and it could be for 2 reasons. They had this guy in a lot of like pistol formation, which we don't really see Kirk running like college style plays. So I don't know if that offense is just built for Penix to step in, or if Kirk is just like actually healthy. Like, let's just reduce him taking drops, let's snap it straight to him, and let him just throw the ball. But either way, it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? But also, I don't want to disrespect the Steelers defense. TJ Watt still one of the best players in the league. And yeah, so I thought he did a lot to wreck that game. But it's week one. It's week one. I don't want to jump to too many.
Yeah.
Not about the teams that I felt played in the middle. I felt the Steelers played in the middle. Felt the Falcons played in the middle. Justin Fields is really the story out of that game for me. It just seems like bro has enough, but he does almost enough. I guess that's the best way to put it. Like, he does almost enough, but he got the win. But it's like you don't feel like you have a franchise guy. Like you said, all field goals in a game where the other team's offense is struggling. I don't know. Both of those teams, the jury's still out to me.
So can we talk about how rough it's going to be for Kirk for the next 5 weeks? Because he has the Eagles on a Monday night game. He has the Chiefs, the Saints, and then, right, it looks like a bunch of losses, right? And then come October, he gets Tampa, and by week, what is that? And then he gets the Panthers. I think out of all of that, his first win is gonna be against the Panthers. It's gonna be a long season for the Falcons.
I think y'all are overhyping the Saints because of what they did to the Panthers.
He'll get the Saints.
I don't know.
Atlanta will turn it around. That is a tough stretch though, G. That is a very tough stretch.
I mean,
I don't like the Eagles matchup. Kirk is historically bad against Philly.
And on the Monday night game.
He's historically
on Monday night at that.
Prime time, he sucks.
So,
you had an excellent point though about them running the shotgun and the pistol as much as they did. Kirk Cousins is known for under center, play action, bootlegs. Like, that was not really the Kirk Cousins style of play. And I am interested to see if that's has to do with an injury or if they're going to incorporate more of a Kirk Cousins friendly type of offense. But we'll see. Like you said, it's week one, and I'm not jumping the gun on Atlanta.
Yeah, I hear that. And you're right to not jump the gun on them wrong, but 11 wins in the season means they better start winning soon, right? And I think it takes Kirk Cousins probably till midway through the year to really catch his stride with this team till they figure it out. But the defense did look good. Let's jump from this game and go to the last game that was a bit of a controversial one, right? One that everyone had one team winning and another team came on top. One that I think I saw something that said 35% of losers in Survivor Leagues lost on this one team alone. And that was the Bengals and the Patriots, where the Bengals lost to the Patriots. And my guy, Gerard Mayo, I don't know why that name was leaving me, in his debut as a head coach. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was impressed by the Patriots, not because they did something crazy on either side of the ball, but I just felt like they gave maximum effort, bro. Like, they gave maximum effort, in every facet, even down the special teams where they had a couple of good returns. What did you guys think about the Patriots and the Bengals? Did y'all expect that at all? Like, how are we feeling about the outcome of that and Gerard Mayo getting his first win?
Jump on?
Jump ball. Go ahead, G.
For me, I feel like it goes to show you when you have a team in order before the season starts, and we said it earlier on the show, you have to participate all during the off season. And clearly, that's been the Bengals' big situation with the top two receivers, one needing a new contract, and another one in 2 years and needing a new contract. And you got to see how that other team played compared to the Patriots. Everybody was there in the Patriots. And the Patriots, before Belichick, he had a decent defense. That's a nice defense. It's just he never had a good offense. And now, look, Mayo played it to where it was like, yo, we're gonna run the ball, we're gonna pass to where we need to pass, but the defense just had to play great defense to keep up.
Yeah. He got that old school Patriots formula trying to work, where it's almost like this quarterback, at least, Jacoby didn't have to do too much at all. You know what I'm saying? Just keep the ball moving a little bit. But Jacoby also did enough, bro. It was an impressive performance. Had me thinking wrong. We probably should have started Jacoby all season last year.
Nah, don't even get me started on that. Because once we got halfway through with Howe, man, I was a big Jacoby guy. I said before the season even started that we would see Jacoby start some games. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, but the Patriots getting that first win is like huge, though. But what it also, like, on the flip side, what does it say about the Bengals? I think G was starting to go there a little bit. Like, this is a team that a couple years ago was in the Super Bowl. I think T famously said they would never get back, and T looking more and more likely that that prediction right there might hold, bro. What did you feel about this performance by Joe Burrow and crew?
Big letdown. Big letdown. And probably no continuity. I thought, where's the running game? Like to kind of give them some balance. Got to take your hat off to the Patriots, because I've been hard on the Patriots. I said the coach would get fired, everyone would struggle. I still think that's going to be true, but huge letdown. If you're a Bengals fan, man, this probably reminds you of the Carson Palmer era, where the team just, they might win some games and be exciting, but they can't get it done. Like, that's not, it's like the NBA, right? Certain teams aren't going to win the championship, and the Bengals are. And football is a little more varied, but the Chiefs, like this team, that Bengals team can't beat the Chiefs. Like, on the Chiefs' worst day and the Bengals' best day. And I think, as a fan of a team that has a franchise quarterback, the bar is Super Bowl. And I think that game just showed us, man, that's out of the question. I think they'll recover, but I'm not going to take them serious just based off that game.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree, man. If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm hitting the panic button. That game was nothing but red flags. You got the contract dispute with Jamar Chase. You've seen all these other receivers getting paid this summer. Jamar Chase still hasn't gotten paid. He goes out there, he plays. After the game, they're asking him why he didn't get more targets. He's saying you gotta ask him, talking about the head coach. So you got Zach Taylor and Jamar Chase going back and forth in the media. You're losing home games to a team that was projected to be a top pick in the draft again next year. And I mean, it's just a hot mess, bro. To T's point, there's nothing to believe in Cincinnati. So,
I mean, to me, they looked about on the same level as the Falcons, which y'all still believe in that. I feel like the Cincinnati hate is a little strong, bro. I mean, is this not an overreaction after 1 week, G?
It's not. Let me say this. I would say the difference between Atlanta and the Cincinnati situation is the stuff I just alluded to with the receiver, your star receiver. We already know T. Higgins got franchise tagged. He's out with a hamstring injury. I just feel like there's more, not just on the field. I see what you're saying about the on the field product, but the Bengals have a bad aura around them right now that I think is going to linger. Whereas I can see Atlanta potentially turning that thing around still. That's going to be tough for Cincinnati because they got non-football field things that they got to address.
I see what you're saying.
Well, not even. I think it's an underreaction because they have it tough. Think about it. They got the Ravens in their conference, in that division, and the Steelers are going to be a pesky team because they're going to at least try to get you 9 to 10 wins. So you're already in the back of that. And the Browns, they lost They lost, but the Browns tend to pick it up come end of October, November, December. Look at last year. They made it to the playoffs with Joe Flacco. So it's just like, can the Bengals get their shit together now? It's like something like, why are we saying you got to get your shit together now in September? This shit should have happened all in August. Like Jamar Chase, someone should have talked to him from the organization, tell him, yo, you still got 2 years left in your contract. You got to give me something. And you know, everybody knows from outside of that organization and inside of the organization that they're not gonna let him walk. He's gonna get his money, but damn, you can't overpay nobody. And that's the thing that's happening with them right now.
Yeah, but it's like a futile exercise with these teams, bro, because they always end up paying up. I guess it goes both ways. Like the player. They got to pay Jamar Chase what Justin Jefferson just got. There's no way around it, bro.
No, I think the only reason why Justin Jefferson got paid what he got paid because he was the only big star on that team. And the Vikings
if you look at it too, though, Justin Jefferson, quote unquote, did the right thing. I mean, he went out there and played without the contract last year, got hurt, so they paid him. You know what I'm saying? So if the Bengals were looking for Jamar Chase to go out there and play, guess what? He did go out there and play in week 1, and y'all lost because you didn't pay T. Higgins either, and he's got a hamstring injury. So I mean, like I said, like they're saying he might miss week 2 as well. So there's and y'all have the Chiefs coming up. So I mean, it's nothing but red flags coming out of Cincinnati right now. And the way that they're going about it in the media with Zach Taylor saying that Jamar Chase is going to practice, then Jamar Chase shows up and doesn't practice, like it's a mess, bro. Like before the game, they're like, "Oh, he's doing his warm-ups. Maybe he's going to play." They don't even know what's going on over there. Back to the Bungles,
bro. That was great.
I forgot about that one. Hey, pause because it sounds wicked.
You guys thought they made it out of the hood, but me, I guys, when somebody from the hood is in a Michelin star restaurant, I can recognize when somebody they ain't never had no escargot before. And the Bengals getting to the Super Bowl, that's what that was. And y'all thought they deserved to be there. Y'all thought, oh, they fancy. They got a nice Jamar Chase. They got a nice car out front, bro. That's a hoopty, man. That org, that's a rental. That org.
Whoa! Hold on.
He said they done leased a Ferrari.
You call Jamar Chase a hoopty?
Bro, I ain't gonna say he's a hoopty, but he's a rental. That's why I switched. He's a rental. Like they can't afford the maintenance. Can't afford the maintenance. All right. Look, certain orgs, bro, and I'm not trying to dump on the Commanders, but Commanders, the Lions, the Bears, the Bengals, the Browns, those teams somehow find a way to mess up good things. Somehow.
Put the Giants in there too.
I don't want to throw the Giants in there just yet, but they get
Saquon.
Man, Saquon left, and
after Saquon, that Daniel Jones contract.
They bench Eli Manning. Fuck
the
that.
Giants definitely getting a little too comfortable hanging out.
Yeah, but that game was overall interesting, man. So next segment, we gotta segment I think is going to be an interesting one, man. My guy Rome has got some. Rome, I'm gonna let you introduce this segment, bro.
Yes, sir. So, week 1 just ended, man. And as always in week 1, as we've already heard from one 49ers fan and T, fans tend to overreact in week 1. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of overreacting on social media. And I just want to get y'all's thoughts on some of this. So basically, we're going to see if this is an overreaction or if it's a fair take. Let's start with the team we were just talking about, man. Well, actually, no, let's skip that one because I think we already know what we think. Let's go to G's team. As a matter of fact. So the Giants just lost to the Vikings at home 28-6. We just crushed the Bengals and Atlanta for losing at home in their home opener. G started the show with a bag on his head that he's currently putting right back over top of it. We don't need to see that ugly mug anyway. So is it an overreaction or a fair take to say that the Giants should bench Daniel Jones right now? Like, should he even be the QB1 at practice tomorrow morning? Is that an overreaction or a fair take? Jump ball.
That's a fair take. Y'all better listen, man. I just told y'all earlier when I opened up the show. I hope nothing but the worst inconveniences. Matter of fact, I need some New Jersey State police officer arrest him. How Miami PD try to do to Tyreek Hill. I need Daniel Jones getting that kind of treatment right now, man, because that's a goddamn thief. Have I ever seen a $160 million thief? Oh, I see one on that field last Sunday. This is not an overreaction. It's the right reaction.
Who's
I
the
figured
back?
that would come from a Giants fan. I believe the backup is my boy Drew Lock.
Is Drew Lock and Tommy, bro? They are so much better. Bro, I don't give a fuck. So
I mean, bro, at this point, Drew Lock or Daniel Jones? Like, is that an overreaction?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
But it's
I mean, you're paying Daniel Jones a lot of money. The Giants are tied to Daniel Jones for years to come. If Daniel Jones don't work out, people are getting fired.
Denver paid whatever the fuck this guy over there is.
Russell Wilson
paid him all that money, and they ain't give a fuck. So why the fuck do we gotta give a fuck?
You shouldn't have put a ring on Daniel Jones, man. Giants trying to get a divorce.
They invested a lot in that man, bro. I don't know if they can just get rid of him that easy. It's not like he's a kicker. You know, you can just cut him and find a new one next week.
If Denver did it, I don't see why we can't.
G's right. Sunk cost fallacy. You spend the money, so you hanging on. It's like you start a movie that's 30 minutes and it's bad, but you finish it just because you started it. Bro, you just lost 2 hours of your life that you knew an hour and a half ago. You shouldn't watch the show. That's what the Giants are doing right now. Get that bum off the team.
So it's bad. I'm about to pour hot sauce in my face this Sunday. If they lose by the same way they lost to the Vikings, they lose the same way like that to the Commanders with that rookie quarterback. Just pour hot sauce on my eyes, because
I'll say this before we go to the next take. I wouldn't bench Daniel Jones, and this is me speaking as a Commanders fan. Y'all know I'm a diehard. I would not bench Daniel Jones the week before a Commanders game because I think his career percentage completion against the Commanders is like 70%. I don't think he's ever had a bad game against the Commanders. This will be the true test on if Daniel Jones is cooked. If he can't have a good game against the Commanders anymore, then whatever it was that he had to be a pro QB has completely left his body. So if he can't get it done this week, then I would go ahead and start Drew Lock. But yeah, let's keep it pushing, man. From one QB who's overpaid to potentially another QB who's overpaid, and that's Dak Prescott. The Cowboys, Jerry Jones, another massive manipulator, did a wonderful job trying to steal the headlines before the game start. I don't remember the last time a player or a QB got paid an hour before the game starts. Dak even said he didn't even know the contract was done because he's getting ready for the game, and his agent and his team is handling that part. So that was crazy. But you know how Cowboys fans work. All over the internet, Dak got paid, Super Bowl champs, Super Bowl incoming. So Dak got paid, they crushed the Browns. Is that an overreaction? Dallas to the Super Bowl?
Dallas to the Super Bowl is crazy. Yeah. Whenever they start talking Dallas to the Super Bowl, you just know they're gonna fail spectacularly. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you start hearing Dallas to the Super Bowl, them hopes gonna get up. They're gonna have some good wins. They're gonna have some really good wins. But man, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I alluded to this. That contract was nothing more than one good look at Colorado play Nebraska. They looked at the door, play under pressure. They looked at how he handled that press conference. They looked at how Dion handled that press conference. And they said, bro, we have to win. We don't like any of these quarterbacks in the next draft. We got to win. Pay the man. And now they locked in a Dak. I think it was a little bit of an overreaction. But hey.
Highest paid player in NFL history at this point. Bryce, what you think, man? Is that a fair take though? They pay CD too. They loaded up. They got their squad or Super Bowl champs.
That's tough, bro. And because I hate the Cowboys, right? Obviously, as a Commanders fan. But I think this is the closest they have been for a while, bro. Probably since maybe those peak Romo TO days. Reason I say that is because, damn near got the same setup you had with Romo and T.O. You got a fringe top 5 quarterback who any given day can play like a top 3 quarterback. any given day can play like a bottom 18 quarterback, right? And then you got one of the best receivers in the game, who every single game is going to produce. And then you got one of the best. This team is almost just like a team with Romo and T.O. And then you think about it, you got most dominant or one of the most dominant pass rushers in the game. At the time, they had DeMarcus Ware. Now they got Micah Parsons. So they really
Got
just
two of them.
Yeah. Really, they just cooking up the same formula. They have been for ages. So is it a Super Bowl winning formula? It hasn't been since the 90s, right? But maybe this is the year. Maybe it's the year they can at least see a deep playoff run. I think I ended up taking them to win the division this year just because it made the most sense. Do they go on a run deep as a Super Bowl, bro? I don't know about that. I don't know if I've seen that level of like play from Dak Prescott where I can say like in the biggest games he's going to play his best. I think that's what it comes down to. He's got the big contract now. Can you play like a top, 3 to 5 guy in these biggest games? And that's the ultimate question for Prescott at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit of a fair take because a lot of people's knock on Dak is he doesn't produce in the playoffs. But I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm pretty sure his stats, if you look them up, are very, very similar to one Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, who has been MVP and gets lots of love from lots of people. Go ahead, G, jump in.
For me, it's not even Dak. For me, it's like the one guy you guys not talking about, Trevor Diggs, man. When he got hurt during when they were in practice, and then we come with the news that he tore ACL.
Yeah.
After that defense didn't play the same. They weren't getting those interceptions. They weren't running back for those TDs. I think he's the biggest piece in this whole thing when we're talking about Dallas. As long as that guy stay healthy, I think Dallas could have a deep playoff run and maybe make it to the Super Bowl. Maybe. But I think with that guy right there, he was an X factor in that whole team.
I hate Dallas, but I think it's a very fair take to think that they could go on a Super Bowl run. I don't believe that they will, but they're loaded, man. They got Deron Bland will eventually come back. Like G just said, Trevon Diggs is a dog. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence. The offense is stacked with CD and Dak. You know what I'm saying? So if Zeke can give him a little something at the goal line, then you know what I mean. Like they have a nice squad. Will they go on the run? I don't think so. Is it a fair take to say that they could? Sure, why not? Here's another one for you, though. The Panthers. I don't know if you guys saw the Carolina game. The Saints put up like 47 on them. I think that even the backups were scoring at one point. It got pretty ridiculous. Bryce, I think last week you had a take about the Panthers having a good season or some type of turnaround. But it looks to me like they've fallen apart even worse than they were last year. So is it an overreaction or a fair take to say that the Panthers are worse than they were last season, which was really, really fucking bad?
Like I told you on Twitter, Rome, when I made that prediction, I didn't know Derek Brown was going to tear his ACL. That's what my prediction was predicated on. Nah, I kid, man. I just wasn't impressed with the division overall, but I was mistaken on that, I think. It's one game, bro. Do we want to overreact? Maybe we should, because I don't know if there's ever been a team in the NFL that's gotten beat by 47 or let a team score 47 and has gone on to win and make the playoffs with that sort of point differential. I don't know. What was it? How many points the Panthers have?
I don't even remember, bro.
13?
10.
I had to stop watching that game.
So 37-point differential. I highly doubt there's ever been a team that's made a run that's had a game that bad. It was ugly, man. And the saddest part is it still doesn't seem like Bryce Young doesn't look like he's got a clue, bro. And I'm not blaming him for that. I don't know what the issue is. But when he's out there, it doesn't look like NFL offense, bro.
Facts. Those were some of the worst interceptions I think I've ever seen.
Bro, it don't be looking like NFL offense, bro.
Like he overthrew an open receiver right into the hands of the safety. Like, bro was like, I'm not even in position. I'm getting the pick, bro.
Like, on that little crosser, right?
Yeah, like that was terrible.
It's like, but it's almost like, I think he's got that Derek Carr syndrome, bro, where he got beat to a pulp his first 7-8 games in the NFL, and he's never been able to see past that, bro. And history says once a guy gets that disease, it's uncurable.
Yeah.
Maybe could be the one to shake it, but I'm sincerely worried about Bryce Young's future as an NFL quarterback. Taking the punishment he's taken at that size, one of the smallest quarterbacks of all time, and you throw that into the like pot that it don't seem like they've put the right shit around him, bro. They have the line looks horrible, dog. Like I don't know who's on that O line. I need to do my research, but it looked bad, bro. Maybe that's Bryce Young. I don't know, bro. She didn't like NFL offense, and I was disappointed. I expected more out of Bryce Young here too, bro. He doing my
I
name
was
dirty.
super disappointed. I was I was super disappointed. G, what you think about the Panthers, man? Are they worse than last year? Overreaction?
It's not, and it's sad, but I'm gonna just go back. I'm gonna a little bit more to what Bryce was saying. This is that bad offensive line, and I don't think this guy trusts any of his receivers. I don't think there's chemistry there, and I think he's afraid because he's like, yo, this offensive line is only giving me like a second. Like he looks like he plays better when he's in the shotgun. Even then, it doesn't even look that good because look, he's throwing deep balls and thinking that the receiver is gonna be able to have the speed to catch up to it. I think it's not an overreaction. I think it's just like, damn, man, you're gonna watch literally a number one pick just go down the shitter.
T, what you think?
Nah, I think that team might get somebody fired, man. If that team beats you this season, you might get fired as a head coach. Like if because they look like a 0-10, 0-11, and managed to beat one of these teams, bro. That team is terrible. That team is terrible, bro. My son tried to sell me on Chuba Hubbard. It's no coincidence for the least amount of points in fantasy this week. Like, bro, Bryce Young looks bad. He's short. He has that against him, so he can't always see where he's throwing the ball. But he's throwing the ball. He's out there guessing. Like I'm watching. He's out there guessing, and when he's not guessing, he's not throwing with any real confidence. Like I don't know, man. I don't think this regime can fix the issues that he has. Because there's and that's the problem. There's at least 30 other quarterbacks that can come in there and manufacture some drives, right? We can go down there, we can get some field goals. We can and spark some confidence in the fan base and in the locker room. Bro, if you in Carolina, you trying to get the hell out of there. Now the best player on defense is hurt. Look, if that team wins a game, I'd be surprised. They're so bad that people are going to start tailing them in parlays and all sorts of stuff. Like expect your players to have great performances against that sorry ass team.
Not even just that. Think about what you said about Chuba. He ran the ball 6 times, right? He averaged only 2 yards per carry.
And
that's fucking nuts.
It should be easy to run when you're getting blown out. You should be able to, like, because everyone thinks you're going to pass. Like, you should be able to run a draw. You should be able to get something. Man, that team looked terrible, man.
Exactly, dog.
Yeah, Panthers are definitely in some trouble, man. All right, last overreaction for week 1. The Bears managed to win their first game of the season. I believe Caleb Williams is the first number 1 overall pick to win out of the season. However, he threw for under 100 yards, lackluster performance. I don't know if you guys had a chance to catch that game, but he didn't do much for all the hype that was surrounding him in college and preseason leading up to this. So my question for this one is: Caleb Williams overrated? Was all that hype for nothing, man? He's just going to win games off the defense. Is that a fair take or overreaction to say that Caleb Williams is overrated?
Man, I feel like the fact that we're doing all of these after week 1 automatically puts them in the overreaction bucket, right? Because week one, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, G's loving it because he hates Caleb Williams. But, dog, it's 1 week and he clearly hasn't figured it out, bro. Let's wait. Let's see if he does figure it out, because it's not automatic that someone ever figures it out, right? Let's give him time to figure it out. You could tell he was out there thinking he could get away with some of the college shit. You know what I'm saying? He had a couple of little flashes in preseason, probably had him feeling like, okay, this shit is just as easy as college. Nah, buddy, the lights is on today. It's a little more serious today, dog. Mine was running a little harder today. You know what I'm saying? And I think he got kind of a little caught up in that, like caught up in his own ability. And it seemed like he was a little loose with the football at times, I felt like, from what I saw. I didn't see a ton of that game. But I think Caleb's fine, bro. I'm not overreacting on Caleb. I'm nowhere near calling him a bust because of that performance. I think he'll turn it around. And I think by the end of the season, we'll see why he was selected number 1 overall.
Oh, yeah. And you threw out the B word out there. Nobody was throwing out the B word on Caleb Williams just yet.
I've seen it. I've seen it on first of all, G's about to throw that word out, but I've seen it on
Week one is definitely all about the overreactions, though. And I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if this was an overreaction. It might be a bit of a fair take. I like Caleb Williams a lot. I do think he's generational, but the thing is, when you play so much off-schedule ball the way he did in college, that becomes you become used to it, right? It becomes second nature. When you get to the league, you gotta play way more structured than that. All that off-schedule stuff isn't going to work all the time, and he's got to learn that. So I think it's going to be an adjustment for him to learn that. But T, do you think it's an overreaction to say that he's overrated?
No, it's not an overreaction. There was a number I saw that was really worrisome. His time to throw was longer than it was in college. It was approaching 4 seconds, which is crazy to think you're holding on to the ball longer in the NFL than you were in college when people were moving much faster. They got to find a way to reel him in, or he's gonna have to adapt his style. Something has to happen. But like you said, that off schedule stuff not going to work. It's almost like in a basketball sense, a guy going out there doing 50 crossovers and no look passes, like one of them and one mixtape guys. Bro, we just need a bounce. We just need you to throw a 5-yard out. We just need you to throw a slant. We don't need you to run around, turn your back to the defense. I mean, even all of running around, bro, he makes some wild throws. And you can see, okay, all right, I see why this kid is here. But yeah, I think the coaches are going to have to rein him in. He might not know how to rein himself in. I think the coaches are going to have to give him some. Hey, look, read 1, read 2. If it's not there, throw the ball away. Just really basic stuff. Bootleg, flood concept. We got a high, we got a low, we got a middle. Hit one of them or keep it. They got to give him some really basic stuff. Pare it down for him.
No, I agree. G, man, I know you got a lot to say about this one. So what's up?
Man, I said it before he got drafted, when he got drafted, during training camp, and I'll say it after week 1. This kid is a bust. Pause. This dude is mad overrated. The fact that I had the nerve to compare this guy to Patrick Mahomes, that's how I know y'all be smoking some shit wherever the fuck y'all get that shit from. Matter of fact, yo, send me that number, man. I'm gonna have to buy some shit, because Jesus, man, I know this guy might kill me for saying his name in vain, but like, yo, come on now, man. This kid is a bust. You earlier said you tried to downplay Brock Purdy's performance because he misses 10 passes, but he had over 200 yards passing. This kid didn't even have 100 yards passing. And he has stud receivers. What are we talking about? Man, in his situation and Bryce's situation, who you would have thought would have had a better day passing? And Bryce Young had at least over 160 passing yards with 2 interceptions. I guess what Caleb Williams did right was not throw an interception. But come on, you mean to tell me you can't pass for over 100 yards?
Yeah, it was a bad start, and he's very
And
lucky
on
to have
top of
come
that,
away with the win.
this is a Tennessee defense, which no one ranked a top 10 defense.
I mean, if we're being honest, right? Will Levis won that game for the Chicago Bears. Like Will Levis played horrible. He made mistakes at critical times. That really swung the favor in the game of Chicago. But Caleb's got a lot to learn about playing in the NFL. I think he's got all the talent to do it, but yeah, he's got to make a big adjustment. And I mean, the NFL moves fast, man. So if he can't make that adjustment, or the Bears can't help him make that adjustment, we I think it's a fair take to say he's overrated.
If I was anybody, right, they play Houston's on the primetime game. Take the under in that game. That game ain't going over no 46. I'll tell you that much.
Wait, who Houston got next week?
They
Chicago?
got Chicago. That game ain't going
Oh, Sunday
46.
night.
That game ain't going over 46. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, the Bears are cooked in that game. Which well, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't know, man. Like I just watched Anthony Richardson drop bombs on them. Caleb has the same arm talent. Like if all I got to do is get some receivers behind the defense and throw it as far as I can, they like just mossing people back. I don't know. I got to look at that one. I think you might be onto something, but I got to look a little closer.
Take the under. And points, take the under. I don't see that shit going over 46. Because it's at 45 and a half. It ain't going over 46.
What about the Bills Dolphins game, G? What's the over under on that jump?
That right now, wow. I think that's the highest scoring game of the week so far. They have, oh no, never mind. That's the second highest. They have it at 48 and a half. Now that game might go over, but it depends if A Train plays this Thursday.
I'm gonna give y'all some free sports betting. Take Josh Allen. Take the Bills.
You like him for the yards or the tub?
I like Josh Allen for everything in this game.
Yeah, same here.
He typically kills the Dolphins. I don't think train stops.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one for Miami. They need to get it though. I like Miami in this one. And what other big games we got next week?
That's a tough matchup. Hey, thinking of these matchups, it's going to be another week like that in the Survivor League where it's going to be a lot of people that get booted because it's a lot of tough matchups again this week.
So
Yeah,
my bad. Go ahead, bro.
you guys, we have the Bengals and the Chiefs as a good matchup. You got the Lions and the Bucks as another good matchup. And my sleeper matchup will have to be so far will be the Browns versus the Jags.
Who do you think in the Browns Jags?
That's the one I don't know.
Man, yeah, Deshaun looks done, and he just got another case against him.
Yeah,
but the NFL ain't doing nothing about it. They're just gonna let it play out.
Damn, bro, another case. That's insane.
It really is.
But it stems from the same case from the other ones.
So nobody want to talk about Jaden Daniels?
What the hell he do?
Not amongst this crowd.
Why not? What he do?
I all right. I'll give you my synopsis, man. I thought he looked eerily similar to Kaepernick. Very straight line, one-dimensional runner. I guess you want to sprinkle in some RG3 because the guy can't slide. He doesn't know how to buckle his chin strap. Helmet pops up. I thought his head popped up in the plays. I was lucky to see the young fellow was still alive. Like I've never seen that's.
Yo, this is crazy, bro. I don't even want to cut you off, bro, but I got you, bro. This is like the propaganda hour now, bro. Like nobody want to bring up Jaden Daniels, and then you proceed to like give him sideways ass compliments, and then insult him. He can't even keep his helmet straight, and blah blah blah. Like meanwhile, Brock Purdy misses 10 passes, and somehow he only misses 2. But you know what? I'm glad you brought up Jaden Daniels because I wanted to, and now you can't say I'm a homer. So we already talked about Caleb Williams. We haven't mentioned Bo Nix. He wasn't that impressive. We can talk about Bo Nix if y'all want to. But of the 3 rookie QBs that started this week, Jaden Daniels was the best one on the field. He didn't get the win. We just talked about Caleb Williams got carried to a win. If we were talking about the 3 starting rookie QBs for week 1, the best one was Jaden Daniels.
Facts.
And if you want to debate that, we can debate that all day. But you want to talk about it not keeping your chin strap buckled and other nonsense, then it is what it is.
He got spanked.
He got spanked, or the Commanders' weak ass secondary got spanked. Remember what I told you? That secondary could potentially be the worst in the league.
Both.
So when Jaden Daniels starts playing DB, then we can say he got spanked. But as far as what I saw offensively, he had a solid game.
Well, he had
He had
3
a lot to
fumbles?
improve on.
3 fumbles though?
I thought he looked promising. I'm not gonna hate. I thought he looked promising. I thought he looked like potential rookie of the year. I think he'll put up some pretty decent numbers. I think he'll finish fantasy top 10, top 12 quarterbacks. But poverty franchise, man. Poverty franchise. Good.
Hey, it's game 1, bro. Jaden overreactions right now are crazy, man.
What's the over under on how many times his helmet comes off next game?
Duh.
This guy's crazy.
No,
Well,
I've never seen. Like that's
Let's say the over under is 1. You going over?
I'm taking the over.
Hey, 1.5.
I guess we're gonna have to find our bookie real quick and talk to him.
1.5. What are you taking?
Like ownership probably makes a call like that can't happen again. So I'm not taking 2.
Hey, I do got a question for you guys though, man. That I want to talk about something real quick before we get out of here. Because watching the Commanders games, y'all brought him up, right? And one of the players on the Bucks, who's one of the probably most underrated players of this generation, is Mike Evans, right? And I was thinking about where Mike Evans kind of just slots and fits as a football player. You know what I'm saying? And where ranking wise, where he's gonna go down all time, right? And it's such an interesting conversation, man. And it brought me to this contrast between greatness versus skill level, right? For instance, right? There's a lot of receivers that might be better than Mike Evans, but there's very few receivers that are greater than Mike Evans in the NFL today, right? So it's and how do we decide to weight that, right? Because let's take Odell Beckham's season with the Giants, the one-hand catch here, right? That's one of the best seasons, or Antonio Brown's 2,000-yard, damn near 2,000-yard season. Those are some of the best seasons we've ever seen as far as what the play on the field looked like. But is Odell Beckham one of the greatest receivers of all time? He's not, though. Although he had probably one of the best catches, probably had one of the best seasons, probably had some of the best skills, right? And I feel in a sport like football, man, that shit matters more than any other sport. The consistency to be able to call yourself the greatest. And I wanted to get y'all's opinion on where y'all felt Mike Evans goes down all time in the NFL in the history books. And are we witnessing a career that one day we're gonna look back on and be telling our grandkids about Mike Evans, when that's one of them players where it maybe don't seem like that. But in hindsight, the people that we talk about 50 years from now are the ones in the books. And Mike Evans is going to be in the books, bro, for some of the things he's doing. So I want to get y'all opinion on that. What y'all think, man? Jump ball.
Mike, go ahead, G.
I think he's right above Fitzpatrick and not that much behind Randy Moss. Just because his consistency.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Fitzgerald. Just because his consistency of having over it's been 1,000 yards every year so far for the guy, right?
11 seasons or something like that.
Straight that alone, that's Fitzgerald kind of thing. And then what puts him on top of him is the Super Bowl. And then he had a decent playoff run during that run. So that's why I would put him above Fitz because of Super Bowl win, but not that much below Randy Moss. Because there's a level of consistency of just having over 1,000 yards, which is nuts. Because remember, let's not forget, his first quarterback was fucking was Mr. 30 for 30.
Oh yeah. And so that means that you kind of value the greatness more than the skill. Because like it's easy to argue that Mike Evans is not one of the most skilled receivers, but I'm with you, G. Like to me, I don't know if I rank him up there with Fitzgerald and Randy Moss, but like he's definitely in that like shit, Reggie Wayne,
Anquan Bolden?
Marvin Harrison talk for me, where it's like that fringe 10, bro, because the greatness, bro. And when I'm ranking all time, who are the greatest of all time? Like he makes my list. I'm sorry, wrong. You was about to jump in at the same time as G. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so for me, man, like I see what you're getting at with the greatness versus skill level, that kind of convo. But I would argue that Mike Evans is still one of the more talented receivers to play. Does he have the skill level as an Odell? Is he one of the fastest receivers? All that kind of stuff? No. But you don't consistently put up the numbers that he puts up, 1,000 yards, multiple seasons with double-digit touchdowns, without being one of the most skilled receivers in the game.
Well, let's take
him being underrated is a good question because he still is one of the most underrated receivers. But I've always questioned why or how he ended up being so underrated.
Like I think I used the wrong term when I said skill. Maybe I should say like best versus greatest. You know what I'm saying? Because like at no point did I ever consider Mike Evans one of the best receivers in the league.
Right.
Like that top 3, 4, 5. Like, but in hindsight, to your point, he probably always been that, and it's just been underrated over all this time. And why is that? Maybe just because it's not aesthetically as pleasing as some of these other receivers. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that has something to do with it. But like
he doesn't really create the separation that everybody else does. But I personally feel like it's a lot to be said for being able to win those 50-50 balls. I look at a receiver like Mike Evans, and the quote-unquote 50-50 balls are really 75-25 because Mike Evans is going to come down with most of them.
So, like, would you say that, like, Mike Evans is the greatest receiver of this generation?
No.
No.
He discussed that question.
He's probably the greatest. I would have to look at Tampa's history, man, but he's probably the greatest receiver in Bucks history.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, second part of this, can you be the greatest without ever have being the best? And I think that's where I'm really going with this. T, what you think, bro?
No, absolutely not. Not. The problem is a couple things, bro. He's never been like y'all got to it before I can get to it. He's never been the best receiver in the league. Never, ever. He is probably the most consistent receiver of all time, possibly. And he's not flashy. He's not blowing people away, but he's the epitome of what a receiver believes that they are. He's probably your favorite receiver's favorite receiver. Like, bro, every receiver, even if you just a kid playing out with your friends, all you want is a chance to make a play. And when you throw him the ball, he makes a play. We literally just saw that. Perfect coverage. And my man made him look like a child. Like, that's what Mike Evans does. Like, I might not win on my route, but, bro, if you throw me the ball, good things will happen. And he got a Super Bowl to further that point. But, no, man, he ain't never been the best. He's not flashy. He doesn't do a dance. Kids don't know his name. He doesn't have a shoe. He doesn't celebrate. He's not in a commercial. He doesn't have an endorsement or a brand deal. He will go down in the history of receivers the same way Tim Brown does, the same way Herman Moore, the same way Antonio Freeman. He's not Joe Horn. He's not Ocho Cinco. He's not the guys that have entertained us from.
A little bit to T's point, I think what hurts Mike Evans and back to what I was saying earlier, why he never seemed like he was really in that conversation is because really since like 2010, the NFL has been flooded with talented receivers. Like it's not hard to find talented receivers. And if you are going to be the quieter receiver, almost like a Terry McLaurin, if you're not going to do something to stand out, like Justin Jefferson, a lot of the reason we say he's the best is because he does the gritty. He's the most noticeable. Like you could debate if Jamar Chase is better than him, Like it's not like he's the undisputed best, but because he's so noticeable, he gets talked about in that spot more so than others. But there's a ton of talented receivers in the NFL. I mean, he plays with Chris Godwin. So that sometimes the debate is who's the real number one on Tampa Bay. So to T's point, also, you can't really be the best if we're debating if you're even the number one on any given Sunday on your own squad. But there's a lot to be said about that consistency, and I've always thought highly of Mike Evans. So
Gotta respect his ability to just be out there, be on the field in such a grueling sport. But I mean, let's be real, bro. 1,000 yards a season is nothing but around 60 yards a game. Around 60
yeah,
yards.
Yeah, but that's like, yeah, it's really good though. That's why it's a
yeah.
benchmark.
But if I told you, hey man, your first round pick in the fantasy draft is only gonna get you 60 yards a game and maybe a touchdown every 4 games, every 5 games, you're not drafting him.
Well, he's
you gotta draft them in the first round.
Wait, but all right, I see what you're getting at. But yeah, I ain't gonna. I see what you're getting at. So I'm not gonna try to poke holes in that theory. You know,
I could poke holes in that little theory because
you know what I'm saying. Could there's holes to poke. But what I'm saying is like,
if you peace.
Let me put it to you like this. So he's had 1,000 yards every year. He's played, if we don't include this year, because this year just started, he's played 10 seasons. 5 of those seasons, he's had double-digit touchdowns. So you're telling me I get this guy for 10 years, he's going to give me 1,000 yards every year, and 5 of those years, he's going to give me double-digit touchdowns? Sign me up. And he's starting this year with 2. He had 13 last year. So, I mean, like.
The problem is, you came into the league when there was a Julio Jones. There was a
Antonio Brown gone, and he's still here balling, bro.
So you've been more consistent than these guys, but now there's a Tyreek Hill. You've never been anyone's favorite player.
But that's what I'm getting at though. Like, bro, it's like, yo, like, what does that mean though? You know what I'm saying? And like, what does it mean for a player? What if we saw a player that had, 2 back-to-back 2,000-yard receiving seasons, and after that they never went above 500 yards?
Bro, nobody.
Like, yo, you can be the best for a couple years, but bro, I was great for 10, 11, 12. Like, I'm better than you. I'm the greatest. I'm greater than you.
You are better, but you
how do we weight that?
Mike Evans is like that rapper that can freestyle, get on a feature, drop a hot song, but don't have a classic album.
You talking about he's the Jadakiss of the league?
He's
Mike Evans just don't have that classic album. But if you know you need a hot 16 or a good feature, Mike Evans is gonna kill it.
Oh, that man fabulous.
No. He more like Jadakiss. Fuck that.
Look, man. At the end of the day, man, Mike Evans ain't never like, bro. Nobody ever turned on the game and say, "Hey, I'm trying to catch what." Let's see what Mike Williams is doing out there, man.
Like, damn. Yeah, you call that man Mike Williams. I know he's a non-factor to you.
I'll tell you this. I bet you DBs hate covering that, man. I bet you if you ask a group of NFL DBs, they don't want to smoke.
Benjamin St. Juice hate covering them. That's for damn sure.
If you think about it, he made what's the kid from Texas Tech that won the Heisman? What the fuck is his name? Menzel. He got Menzel to get drafted. Shit.
Yeah, good point. He was a dog over there.
Yeah, he did that. He was a dog there too.
He's a Hall of Famer, but the word greatness isn't just like talent and stats. It's like impact.
Bro, if it's like I think with him is like you can't coach his trait because of his height. He's just so tall. Like he just literally how many corners you know that are 6'2" that can cover him?
I mean, he's kind of. I mean, I don't even know who to compare him to in the NBA, but it's like, bro, when we're talking greatness, that goes beyond skill and stat. That goes impact. What mark did you leave on this league? What mark did you leave on the fans?
Super Bowl.
Bro, that was Brady.
Yeah. Can't take that from him, though.
You can't take that from him.
That's Brady's.
Think about it. How many corners you know in the NFL right now are 6'5"?
One, maybe.
And that's what makes him this great of the fact that he's this tall play this physical sport and to stay healthy for 10 seasons. That's
Impressive.
That's mad impressive, man. That give you something to his greatness, because
You want Kyle Ripken or Aaron Judge?
fuck you.
Yeah.
Hate
I
I
you.
mean, that's what it comes down to. That is a solid fucking comparison right there, T. You want Cal, because you're not going wrong with either, but you know what you're getting with
I'm gonna
both.
go with my captain. I want my captain. I want my captain. I want my captain.
I like
think
that
I'll
though.
be
T.
done.
That's a good way to end that conversation. I'm sure this one's gonna come back up. I'm gonna bring this one back up when another player, you know, when it calls for it, with another player that we can discuss, man. But good shit tonight, fellas, man. We went late into the night, so hey, man, good show as always.
Hold
man.
on, before we leave, we got to give these people some good bets, man. It is the football season, and we all became degenerates / deadbeat dads come Sunday. So who's your who? Give these people a little parlay. Who will be your pick? Who's your lock this week?
I made some money on the Allen Lazard anytime touchdown. Made that bet during halftime. I'm going back to it. So player props. One thing I know about Aaron Rodgers, he trusts who he trusts, bro. And he done brought Allen Lazard along with him for the ride. Gave him a touchdown game 1. I'm expecting another one game 2. I'm gonna put him in the player prop once again.
Ooh, okay. Rome?
Jaden Daniels, anytime touchdown.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah. For me, give me Dallas to score a TD against the Saints.
DJ Dallas?
No,
defense.
Dallas defense.
All right.
Dallas defense. Ooh, I like that one. Mine's I alluded to earlier, bro. Give me Josh Allen for at least 1 passing touchdown, and he's gonna throw for 250. And Cook's gonna have at least 3 catches. So that's a true parlay. Bundle that up.
I might bundle this whole junk. All these takes.
You're crazy. Oh, but hey, one more I want to throw in there, bro. Y'all know I'm high on the tight ends. I was a year early with Likely last year. I'm a year early with Okonkwo this year. All right. I got a new theory on tight ends. I think they take like 2-3 years to develop. If you need a tight end in your fantasy league, or you want to add one to a parlay that's got great odds as a touchdown scorer, scored a touchdown week 1, Chigo Okonkwo from Tennessee Titans, starting tight end. Ryan Tannehill can't even see the receivers, bro. He don't know where none of the receivers at. All right, he can find a tight end every once in a while. Take him in your parlays.
All right, if you could trade Xavier Worthy, trade him right now.
I like selling high, bro. We should talk about that next week or week after, about sell high targets in fantasy football. That shit'll win you your league.
Yep.
Nah, definitely tune in next week, man, because we will get into that. That's a good week to do that.
Yes, sir.
By CMC, I'm telling you, he's not gonna play for 2 months.
That shit killing me. All right, hey man.
I was already hip.
I see, Ron. You
you.
bamboozled me. I know how we end each and every show, man. Sports for the culture.
For the culture.
Wait, who's about to bamboozle who? We here